Impression of Marshawn's first couple days.
It's been a lot of fun. Just getting to know him. Obviously didn't know him at all. It's been fun to be around him and just kind of talk a little bit of football and see his passion for the game. It's really it's inspiring.
How does it look to you?
Does look good. Again, a couple days. First day doesn't really count. A little bit slow and stuff in tennis shoes. All of us. Today he was moving around pretty good. So working his way back into it, and I know he's excited.
What's the biggest challenge both for him and Robert coming in with only a week trying to get ready for?
The language, for sure. Just the language. Obviously, for them, it's they've both heard some of the language, both with Marshawn being here before. A lot of it's still the same. Turbo was with us in Indy, so some of it's the same in that regard. It's really just them learning some of the new concepts, the new nuances maybe that they don't know. Russ will be a big part of that, trying to help them, even on the field, just kind of reminding them. They're both working really hard at it, so I think they'll both be fine.
But they haven't played. I guess taking hits and all that kind of stuff. How big of a factor is that?
They've played a lot of football. I understand the question. They've both played a lot of football. I don't think that they'll, really know until game day. And when they get hit on game day, they'll kind of have a sense of how they feel. But both veteran guys that understand how physical the game is and how physical that this game specifically will be.
Marshawn, when were you really aware that he could be a legitimate option for you guys for backfield?
It was early this week. Obviously when things happened like they did on Sunday, we knew that we had to do some things, and obviously we're opening any door, and got a guy like that and a guy like Turbo that are both professionals. They've played the game at a high level. They're dependable. There's chemistry already with them and some of the players, including Russ. So it was a pretty easy decision.
How big of a blow was it just in general, losing Chris, knowing that he'd come off of 6 such strong quarters right before you lost him, all that with the Carolina game, and how he started just that blow as well?
Well, you hate it for Chris. Unfortunately, it's been one of those years where there's been more of that, but you hurt for Chris. You hurt for what a great year he's having. But again, the work ethic that he has, there's no question in my mind he'll be back. But you have to move on. Got a big game this weekend, championship game, and so you hurt for him. You're sad for him. You're disappointed, but at the same time, you got to move on.
What's it like, Brian? Not only game planning each week with your opponent, but game planning with a new set of players on your team as well, seemingly.
Well, it definitely makes you ponder a little bit more about certain things. Hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And some of it is trial and error. Honestly, some of it you go out there and say, okay, this play looks good, but let's go out and see if our guys can understand that scheme. So a little bit of patience. It was nice. We got a little bit of, we call it an extra half day, I guess, if you will, with the holidays. But those guys are on it today. And again, we'll go look at the film. There's always things to correct, but there's challenges. But at the same time, they're both really good football players. And again, they've both had a little bit of the system in previous stops.
What did you make of the pass protection issues last week?
I think for the most part, we struggled in some communication errors, things that we haven't, done. We turned Chandler loose on one late in the game, strip sack, fumble. We have to be better. We got to communicate better. Starts with me, but all the way around. He gave us some fits, and some of it was just our, not being on the same page with communication-wise. So another challenge this week that I think we'll be ready for, and we're excited to go against this group coming in.
The first 2 drives you had last week were really good, and then C just kind of fell off the cliff. Did it boil down to pass protection? Did it boil down to being bad down in distance situations? What sort of stood out?
The first 2 drives were great. Even the one we got the second drive, like you referenced, we were moving the ball really well. We struggled on third down. We just that was the big part of it. We just couldn't really get any momentum on third down, and when you do that, it's hard. And then, I think we came out of the game with 26 minutes time of possession, and that's hard for anybody. But certainly the way we play, it's important to get our shots or get our swings in. So, thinking back to the game, it was just one of those games where we didn't do enough good. I didn't do enough good things. Would love to have some calls back, but we'll be better this week. Really good week of practice so far. Great day today. So excited about the championship opportunity coming up.
How did you feel Travis handled the load thrown out of in that game?
I thought he did really good. I thought the first run, Buda Baker had kind of been flying around making a lot of plays, and his first run that he got, he kind of bounced the ball outside, and it was I saw it from our sideline all the way across the field, and he didn't check up. He ran hard, which we knew that was his makeup. He's a tough kid, really decisive runner, but it was good to see him take on what I think is really a physical player in Buda and challenge him on the boundary.
Speaking on Travis, how have you kind of seen him grow throughout the year? And obviously he was, kind of the third, fourth string guy. Now he's kind of up on the depth chart. Just how have you kind of seen him grow throughout the 16 weeks of the
coolest thing about Travis is if you watch the way he worked week 1, week 4, week 8, week 10 on the scout team, you saw how important it was to him. Like, he was always ready. He was always working. He was always finishing his runs. He was not just going through the motions, I'm just going to do this to get through. He was working on his fundamentals. He was working on his finish. He was working on his cuts. That's when you know it's important to a player. Little chance of maybe getting in the game, playing on special teams, but out there when he was the running back and he was playing the role of some of the great backs that we faced this year, he really bought into it and really and worked like crazy to just get better. So that's when you know the guy's got the right stuff, and he certainly does.
When you guys are cooking, how much do you feel like you're able to just avoid third down altogether?
When you're cooking, it normally happens. It happened in Carolina for us early in the game. Those first couple drives, we didn't have very many. It does happen, when you're moving the ball and you run it well and you're hitting your pass plays. And I mean, we did it some in that first drive last game against these guys. It helps. Third downs are hard. I mean, the teams that lead the league, they convert 50%, so it tells you how hard it is. But we'll face some third downs this week, and I think got a good plan so far, and it'll be important for us to be able to convert those.
Do you go about making your game plan to try and avoid third downs, just given, like you said, how hard it is to convert third down and third down?
There's certain series maybe where you think about it, but you're really calling plays because honestly, we call plays. We get to dictate the terms of engagement, if you will, the personnel and the cadence and the formation. But our progressions and our plays are designed a little bit to react off what they do. So you might have that in your mindset of, hey, I think maybe we can avoid it here, but it doesn't always happen like that. So.
Story you've heard from coaches and players?
Well, the funniest thing that I've experienced is when I walked into the meeting on Monday or Tuesday, he was actually sitting in my seat. And so I didn't really know how to kind of react. I was like, excuse me. But he was great. He was like, this your seat? He got up. But I've enjoyed being around him, and guy loves football.
Who do you think DK is being shadowed by guys like Jalen and Patrick? And do you expect Richard to do the same thing?
Well, I think it shows that people realize how explosive DK can be. I don't think San Francisco is going to change. I don't envision they might. They're always going to throw some wrinkles, but I don't know if they'll do that. I think they feel very comfortable with both Witherspoon and Richard. But I think it speaks to the respect that DK has right now in the league and the type of player that he is. It's a little harder to match Tyler sometimes because we move Tyler into the slot and stuff, and some of those guys don't want to go inside and play in the slot. They're more comfortable outside, but he should get used to it. He's going to see it a lot over his career.
You need to help him with those type of matchups?
Yeah, for sure. Formationally, try to move him around a little bit. He can go inside. There's really not a spot that he can't play. I mean, we can put him inside and do different things. But he doesn't need too much help with most of those things. He's a really dynamic route runner in a lot of ways.
How surprising was some of the self-inflicted errors last week from Russell getting stepped on, falling down, DK dropping, David Moore's fumble, that those kind of, the pass protection busts that you guys had, that those kind of popped up like they did last week?
Uncharacteristic for us. Some of them were at inopportune times, if you will. But overall, in general, I mean, we didn't play well enough to win. We didn't coach well enough to win. There's things that we have to do better, and we will. Our guys know it wasn't good enough. But again, another great opportunity this week, a championship game. We've been talking about that, right, for the last, ever since I've been up here. And now we finally get to a chance where it's a championship game and against a great team and a great defense, and that's exciting. That's what you look forward to.
Look at their defense and their pass rush. What stands out to you?
You start with the front four. Obviously Bosa gets a lot of the credit. They move him around a little bit. He moves from left to right some, but I mean, across the board, they're very good. Armstead and Buckner and Solomon Thomas. They're really good. They're coached hard. They play really hard. They're very good with their line games and the movements, which make it very difficult. They're just very talented and they're well coached, and they play hard with a lot of pride.
Were you part of like Marshawn's workout, physical, and all that in those conversations, or is that the first time you met him when he was sitting in your seat?
I met him a few minutes before up in Chad's office, but it was cool to see him just be excited to be back, and excited for the opportunity to come back, and I know he's fired up about being back as a Seahawk.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.